Big drop today across all gold, silver, and obviously the mining sector as well. And I've been warning about some weakness potentially starting when it comes to the gold, the silver markets, and obviously it was also the mining sector. And I've been talking about this from a perspective of getting you guys ready to, one, when it does start to happen, not to freak out. And I want to talk to you more about what that's all about today, what's happening right now, and what can we expect moving forward when it comes to silver and gold in this particular video. Traders, if you do need some help, then second link in the description, you can get access, or you can apply for my Inner Circle coaching program, where you can actually work with me every single week for the rest of this year. If you are struggling right now, apply for that, and you or me personally will actually speak on the phone. Let's go check to the actual, let's take a look at this here. So one of the big things I keep talking about, and if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for watching my stuff. I really appreciate you. The big drop the drop that we're seeing right now at a gold and silver was expected. Okay, so if I go to the gold chart here, right? If I go to the gold chart, and what's happening with gold right now, a little bit of short-term weakness. We were expecting this. And once you start to understand these concepts, I think one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of traders are making right now is they're trying to insert an external event. The government, gold, silver, commitment traders report, the inflation data. You're trying to insert all that other stuff to then try to come up with a reason why something's going to happen in the markets. And you know that's not a predictable trading approach, right? How do you use that every day for the rest of your life? And that's what I'm about. I'm about using a trading system that I can use for the rest of my life, right? And so I want you guys to be making money not just this year, but making money for the rest of your life from trading. And so if we're using an approach, if we're trying to approach these markets by saying where we think we need, well, it's the government, it's this, it's that, there was an article about this that was the Fort Knox, gold and silver, all that sort of stuff. It was the commitment traders report, right? We go through this process, and whatever we do is that we're not using a system that we can use again and again and again. So to become successful at trading is not about trying to come up with a solution or an idea of what's going to happen to the markets and then making money. Trading the market successfully long term, it's just about having a trading setup, firstly, but then also it's all about understanding how those markets work so you're not getting in at the wrong time. And this is something I've been talking about. So getting this weakness right now across the metals and miners, it's actually not a surprise. And again, if you've been watching me now, even for the last week, I've been talking about how what we're going to expect real soon. Now, you don't know exactly when this is going to happen, but if you understand how the markets flow and how they work, you start to see this, right? So if I bring up my chart through here, what do you see with this chart? Do we just go straight up and straight down? We don't, do we? So what we do know is we go through these different phases in the markets, right? There's what's called the energy using and energy building phases, right? So if, in this case, if we're in an upward trend, when the market's going up, it's using a lot of energy, right? They're buying it up, buying it up, buying it up, buying it up. And after a while, they run out of energy, aka money. Well, they don't run out of money, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? And it comes a point in time when they start to get tired. They've used a lot of energy to buy this up. Now they want to start to sell some off. Now they want to start to sit back and just relax a little bit. And then you start to get something like this going on, right? A little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a drop, a little bit of sometimes even just a sideways movement, while they start, and this is now what's called building the energy again. So we go through these phases. After a nice, good, long, extended period, we're going to go through the energy building phase. And then after the energy building phase has been completed, we never know exactly where that's going to be, but we end up going through another energy using phase. This energy building phase here always comes after the energy using, energy building. And so you can see what's happened through here, right? We go through what? Energy using, and then we go sideways, building energy using, then we go sideways, building energy. Now we've been using a lot of energy for a while. We may have a little bit more upside to go to 3,000, but there's a massive probability we're going to start to do what type of phase again? We're going to do what? The energy building. The energy building. Because that's what markets do, right? They don't just go straight up. And if they do go straight up, if this went straight to 3,500, I guarantee you there's a massive crash coming. For you bulls out there, you don't want to see that. So as we can see here, by me teaching you this one simple technique, that markets flow like this. And one of the biggest mistakes that traders make is they wait for this market to go up, then they start to look at then they start to look in here. Because the market's been going on for a month. Oh my goodness, it's getting ready to take off. It's taking off. Oh my goodness, I better get in. And then they get in, and then the market does that on them. And then they say the market's rigged. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Oh my God. And then they lose a lot of money. But as you can see, this is where a lot of traders get stopped out a lot, and it goes against them really quickly because they're simply getting in at the wrong time, right? And so by looking at this level here and by understanding this level here, you can understand the reasons why that from a trading purposes, right? From a trading purposes, we can see that we know what to expect soon. So a little bit of a weakness right now, what's been happening with gold. And in fact, you can see what's been happening in the last sort of, maybe week, right? We've just been sort of just going sideways. We've been sort of slowing down through here. We've been strong through here. So to see this thing go through potentially now another energy building phase, and for a few weeks, maybe even for a week or so, and then we continue back up again, it's actually not a surprise, right? Because once again, when you start to see the flow up and down and up and down and up and down and up and we're expecting this phase to come real soon. And the reason why that's so important is, one, you can step aside so you don't get drawn into that. But secondly, when you see what's happening, see what happens over the next few weeks, and we start to go through the energy building phase, or the energy building phase may be something like this here, right? We may get even something like this here, like a bit of a drop down to this level through here. That can also happen as well too. So when we're going through these phases, you're not surprised by it. You're not shocked by it. Like, yes, because this is how markets work. If you want to play the game, understand the game. If you want to play the game, understand the game. And a lot of people, they're trying to understand what the stochastics is telling them right now. And the MACD and all that sort of garbage. There's a few things I can teach you, but the biggest thing I'm trying to really bring home to attention here is one simple thing. And that is energy building and energy using. It doesn't mean the top is not in, right? The top is in when the trend changes. The trend, and we utilize this from the weekly chart here, right? The trend is when we're getting higher lows. Low, higher low, higher low, and a higher low, right? But remember, the higher lows, these energy building phases are the things that actually make the higher low. So if this went through another energy building phase, higher low here, it'll probably make another higher low here, and then away we go again, right? So the energy building phase, when it starts to go down a bit, the top's not in, it's just making the trend, right? We have to come down to go up. We have to come down, which it does. So we're not so, and once you start to understand this sort of stuff here, guys, you're not shocked, you're not surprised, you're not freaked out. Oh my goodness, the top's in, the market's dropping, it's down 10% in the last 3 weeks. Oh my goodness, stop, shut up. What's the trend? Oh, but the John, this YouTube video, and I watched the inflation and slowing. Oh my goodness, the top's in. Shut up. What's the trend? Because as long as we keep making these higher lows, guess what? The trend is up. But with the trend going up, we go through the sideways period, and then because it's the energy building phases, right? And the same for what's happening with silver right now. Silver had a bit of a drop today. Now, silver's one of those markets here, right? Silver is one of those markets that we're getting a drop to the downside, but silver's been really doing nothing, right? Really hasn't been doing anything at all. We've got this resistance level all through here now. Like that, all resistance up through there, as you can see. So what could be happening with silver is silver could be going through here and then come back down. What we want to see with silver to actually then start a trend. This here is no trend. There is no trend at all. It's up and down, it's up and down, up and down. For us to start a new trend out of silver, We need for it to come down, create the higher low, and then away we go. So if you are looking at gold and silver right now, and you're trading it, the drop that we've seen today is one that I've been warning about, the drop starting. And secondly, you understand why it's coming, why it's happening. It's not because something external is causing this market to drop. Because remember, the news media has to come up with a reason. That's what their job is for. Let me throw an opinion of why gold went down today. Well, there's got to be a reason why that. But if you look at how these markets operate on the deepest level, they go through energy using, and now it's time for us to build a bit more energy to go for another move.